Alrighty, folks. Good morning, Oshkosh. We're here. It's day 3, July 27th. We are in the third day of Aviation Nirvana, aviation's answer to Woodstock. It's Whitman Field, and we're having a ball. We are having a little bit of a windy morning, so we're going to enjoy the breeze while we can. It certainly beats the storm of Saturday. First of all, let's thank some folks at Gogo who are powering our broadcast for the week. We are powered by Gogo and their up-and-coming 5G network. But for the moment, let's take a quick look at today's weather forecast and make sure that we're not going to get blown away again. 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms for this morning. Mostly cloudy, then gradually becoming sunny with a high near 81. Northwest winds are about 9 to 14 with gusts as high as 22, and we're seeing a few of those. Tonight, and by the way, tonight is night air show night. 40% of showers and thunderstorms after 1 a.m. We expect the air show to be done by then. Partly cloudy with a low around 62. West-southwest wind 5 to 9. So it doesn't look too bad, and I think we're going to get ourselves a night air show. Yay! And I have to tell you, folks, if you've never seen an Oshkosh night air show, this is something you need to stop everything for and try it out. It is extraordinary. Top story of the day. Well, I'll tell you what. There are a lot of reasons people come to Oshkosh. They got to see this plane, this person, this display, this speech, whatever it may be. But so many people came to Oshkosh to see the RV-15. It came, we saw it, it conquered the crowds. The airplane that everybody says they came to see is here. The high-wing RV-15 is a van's answer to the Stoll community, and we've got a really interesting little piece for you right now.
We've gone through the process since we made that announcement last year of finishing the design and building the airplane and getting it in the air and flying it through the test period and flying it here to AirVenture and putting it on the booth. And we're really, really excited about the new airplane. You know, we've been flying it back in Oregon for a while at the factory, and we got to fly it here. And yesterday we got to unveil it in front of everybody, and we had a huge crowd of people, and it was pretty exciting. And engineers are having a great time getting sunburnt sitting around the airplane and explaining over and over and over again to people some of the really cool features that are part of this airplane. The airplane has a 36-foot wingspan. It's a big wing compared to anything else we've made. It has great big flaps. I've seen it take off in well under 400 feet a whole bunch of times, right? It lands nice and short. It has a really nice, fairly benign stall. Axel Alvarez is our professional test pilot. He's the only one that's flown it. And everything that he said is that it's a great flying airplane and that, you know, it performs really, really well. I can tell you, I've watched the thing climb, and even at a low manifold pressure, in order to keep the speed down where we wanted it in some early test phases, it was going up like a rocket ship. It's just an elevator. So the whole goal is to get the airplane to be as fast as we can possibly make it, and the target is 140 knots. And then also to get it so that it can take off at as short a distance as possible and land at as short a distance as possible and still meet that overall design requirement for total performance. You know, we want you to be able to get there pretty darn quick. We want you to be able to get in and out of the spots that you want to go with this airplane, and we're really encouraged with what we've seen so far. But we anticipate that the first kits will be available. We don't know which kit that'll be. Most likely maybe a tail or a wing, but that would be available sometime in the 12 to 18 month time frame. But that's an estimate, right? It's not a commitment or a guarantee, because what could happen between now and then, if we need to make changes and refinements, we're not going to release kits on a specific timeline that we announce a year and a half ahead of time. We're going to release the kits when it's ready to go and when it's right. So Ryan Johnson's our chief engineer, and he's the president of the company, and he always likes to let a little something loose, I think, you know, a little bit of something. So he did say something about the next one. We were asked a question, you know, will we do another high-wing airplane? And I think the answer was that's pretty darn likely. Right? And it'll be interesting to see. I mean, I know what it is, but it'll be interesting in the future to be able to talk about what that airplane is as well.
And we're back in the midst of screwing things up here on my iPhone cheater. So I wanted to introduce Mike Schrader of Epic Aircraft. That's a beautiful machine behind us. It looks like it just did double duty in a Star Wars movie. Mike, tell us what's the latest at Epic.
Well, we've been delivering aircraft. In fact, out on our front line here is our 27th production aircraft out the door, and we got number 28 going to go out the door on Friday. So we're producing aircraft. Our whole focus right now is manufacturing, producing and delivering aircraft for the orders we have.
Sounds like a tough gig. But 28 already?
Yeah, but the 28, we started delivered the first aircraft in early 2020, and of course COVID hit and caused some delays, and so after that we started bringing staff back on board after 5 months off from COVID, and then finished up the certification for the GX, which was the new Garmin GFC 700 autopilot and 5-bladed prop, and got through that, and so now we're delivering aircraft, and we're up to 28 now.
Outstanding. What are you learning from your customers so far? The educational process that a manufacturer goes through once airplanes get into the hands of the real world is kind of startling at times.
Yeah, so far we've been looking good. It's as with any manufacturer, it's not a perfect world. You find some things that you need to improve on. We have a few. Luckily, it's been pretty minor in most cases. So we've been very successful getting our crew on board, and we have a service center network that we're building right now, and all the service centers will be able to get on board with us and take care of any issues we have coming up. So we feel like we're in a good place with our customers, and customers come out and do our training program and leave very happy. We get constant reaffirmations that when they out in the field that they absolutely love their airplane.
That's all that counts in the long run.
Yeah, exactly. We have guys that already have less than a year and almost 200 hours on their airplane. Yeah, so they're using them.
That's serious flying. What's the production outlook look like for the next year or so?
Well, there again, the results of COVID and everything else in the industry, in the world, actually, you're looking at supply chain issues and some other things. So far, it hasn't been dramatic, but we've had to deal with some. So we were expecting 20 aircraft this year, and it'll probably end up being about 16 deliveries this year. And we're with all the work we're doing, I believe we'll be able to see 24 airplanes next year.
Outstanding. That'd be certainly a pretty good milestone this early in the program. What kind of developments are you looking at now with the Epic program?
This aircraft is at the beginning of its life cycle. You look at our competitors out there, all great aircraft, but they've been at 25, 30 years in the operation, and you look at their growth through that time period, and many times you'll see the airframe pretty much stays the same. In fact, everybody works off the same type certificate, and they just add to it. So you're going to see many iterations on this airplane. You'll probably see it go faster. Who knows? But we know it's the beginning of the life cycle. We got 30 years to really make this thing shine.
Faster. Take it to the mock Buffett, why don't you?
Yeah. That would be interesting. It's fun. We're up in the flight levels with this airplane, so we do use mock numbers. So
good feeling, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a great feeling. Yeah, it's nice to be able to climb up to 34,000 feet and mixing it up with the airliners and being able to stay above the weather, and this is a single-engine turboprop, so that says a lot.
What are the lessons you're learning at this point from the customer base? What has the interface with the customers done at this stage of the game for Epic aircraft?
Well, they've been, the customers are really involved. We're a new company, and we know that we're a new company. So getting customers on board with a new company, especially in the aviation industry, you and I've been around this for a long haul. We've seen a few companies come and go. We want to be that company that's there for the long run, and we're going to be. We have the backing to do it. So I believe that the customers, they want to see that. They want to see that the airplane's going to be taken care of, out in the field if they have issues come up with it. So I think we're doing that. I think, there again, a new company, life's not perfect, but we are making every effort to give them the best service, the best customer relationship program that we can give them.
Any specials at Oshkosh, cheaper by the dozen, something like that?
No, this industry, you just don't see a lot of that. It's the margins are tight, and and the volumes are low. So you got to make sure that the price you give them is going to be competitive, but also know that that's the price.
So who is the typical Epic customer?
We have across the board. We have people that are selling their business and decide they want transportation to see the world. And literally, several of them are planning on traveling around the world with their Epic. We have some business owners, one in remote areas. What's nice about this airplane is it's a capability of landing on short fields, like 2,500 foot runways. And so this opens up a vast amount of more runways available to the customers. So we have a customer in Hereford, Texas. To get to an airline in Hereford, Texas is pretty remote. So they have our airplane, and like I say, they've got almost 200 hours on their airplane now, and they've had it less than a year. So they love their airplane. They get out and they fly it a lot, and that's what you see there. And then you have business owners that literally need some transportation to get around. And, and it's not all business, so they combine it with pleasure and travel to areas. But we're seeing a lot of just across the board, like I say, retired business professionals, real estate developers, things like that. Just out there, mixing it up.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, Mike, we appreciate you spending a little bit of time live with the Morning Brief. Where can people get more information on the Epic line?
Well, epicaircraft.com is the best place. And of course, you can always look us up anywhere. We have advertising in all the companies out there and everything else. We're out. But epicaircraft.com to give you the best information.
Outstanding. Yeah. And by the way, Mike, when do we fly?
Well, we just got to get a schedule together.
There we go. I'm chomping at the bit, man. This is when I want my logbook.
Yeah. Super. Well, you'll get it.
There we go.
Great. Thanks, Jim.
Alrighty, folks, let's take a short break, check in with all the wonderful folks who pay the bills here for A&N. We're really excited that folks have stepped up this year and helped us present everything that we're doing at Oshkosh between Morning Brief and Airborne and the like. And we'll be right back with Gogo's Dave Moline. We're going to talk about Gogo's 5G network. They're about halfway through building this thing up, and later on this year, you're going to be able to get data at horrendous speeds anywhere in the sky. It's going to be really cool stuff. So we'll be right back.
Vantage 12 flight displays for legacy Integra-equipped Cirrus aircraft offer a full panel modernization, including dual 12-inch diagonal displays with dual attitude reference sensors, and that provide significant size, brightness, and processor performance improvements while retaining the ease of use that is synonymous with the Avidyne brand. Vantage 12 for your Cirrus. Get an uncluttered and beautiful design with powerful new capabilities that dramatically enhance situational awareness and make flying safer and more enjoyable.
Unbridled passion, unequaled performance, unlimited possibilities.
Hartzell Aviation, you are cleared for takeoff.
Introducing Hartzell Aviation, leading general aviation companies united by the Hartzell guiding principle of built on honor. A commitment to uphold the highest standards in quality, performance, and support. Hartzell Propeller, Hartzell Engine Tech, Hartzell Aerospace Welding. We are Hartzell Aviation.
Now boarding at hartzellaviation.com.
Tempest Aero Group is a leading general aviation marketing and distribution company that has partnered with some of the best brands in the industry, including Tempest, Alcor, Marvel Schebler, Precision Air Motive, Consolidated Fuel Systems, and Stratus Tool Technologies. These brands represent high-quality aviation components and tools for OEM and aftermarket applications.
Quality, commitment, innovation, and family.
And we're back. Alrighty. Well, things weren't exciting enough. Let's talk about data. Let's talk about the way we're communicating, the way we're using our aircraft, the way we're getting more versatility out of the way we get around and the things that we have to do. Let me introduce Dave Malim from Gogo, and let's talk 5G in the sky.
Yeah, it's an exciting time for us. We're in the middle of building our network. We just made an announcement a couple days ago that we have completed the halfway point on our network build. We've got towers all around the country, and we expect and we are on track to have a formal launch by the end of the year. So we're in really good shape, and it's a really exciting time for us.
Well, as I've told you, I've got some experience with your system when I was crewing on a CJ3 some time ago, and this is a previous generation. But no problem with email, no problem, a little bit of video, getting your stuff back and forth, and so on. And the being able to check with a destination, you know your cars are there, you know your hotel's ready, things that you need done. It was extraordinary the amount of versatility you brought to the travel environment. But to have 5G, man, this is going to be cool. I'm going to be able to watch Hulu on the way.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that people are going to see with 5G is that you're going to be able to do a lot more and have a lot more users doing a lot more of that bandwidth, data heavy kind of connectivity. So things like streaming, video conferencing, gaming, all of those things that maybe have been limited in the past, there won't be any limitation on it moving forward. And it's going to, not only will it be a great experience, but you'll be able to have a lot more users on board doing all those same kind of activities and not see any impact.
What's the install like? What kind of equipment are we talking about for the average installation?
Yeah, for anybody that has an Advanced L5, it's a really simple upgrade. They just add what we call the X3 box. It's our 5G system. It's another box that you put on the plane, and you swap out the antennas on the belly of the aircraft, and you're done. If you don't have an advanced system, you'll have to have that installed, but the way that we've got things set up right now, if you want to get 5G and get provision for it today, you can do that. And then once the 5G system is available, we just add the other box and you're off and running.
Holy smokes, what's the installation time like otherwise?
It typically takes a week or so. I mean, it depends. Everybody does it a little bit differently, and so it depends upon, there's a variety of factors, what aircraft you're putting it on, what the shop that's doing the installation is, how busy they are. There's just a variety of factors. So it varies. It can go in for, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, depending upon what that looks like. But generally speaking, we've tried to make it as streamlined as possible.
Well, one thing that's interesting about the Gogo philosophy, you guys decided to concentrate on an industry segment to the abandonment of all else. You've decided to be top in this area. That had to be a really tough decision because you had a whole airline gig going for a while and the whole 9 yards, but the business community in particular is going and growing. We've never seen the kind of growth, especially during and post-pandemic, that we've seen to this point. But the amazing versatility we're getting out of being able to do business 24/7 in the air, on the ground, what have you, is just extraordinary. You must be getting some interesting feedback.
Yeah, the thing that's really interesting about connectivity is that it wasn't that long ago that it was a nice to have. It was a luxury. Today it's a necessity, especially in business aviation. And we have seen that we continue to see increased demand and growth even into general aviation. We made an announcement last year with Cirrus where we've got our system on a Vision Jet, and we've got, that was just a year ago, and there are more than 50 aircraft that are installed with those systems already, and the demand just keeps growing and growing and growing. So I don't think we're going to see that go away. It's an interesting thing. Once people have connectivity on board their aircraft, they just can't imagine living without it. They don't know what it's like when they don't have it, but once they have it, they can't imagine going back. So it's been a great thing. And you mentioned our commercial airline division. We sold that in December of 2020, and it's made a big difference for our experience on the business aviation side because it's just freed up a lot of bandwidth, and our customers are, the speed is better, the bandwidth's better, and everybody just seems to be very pleased with the service that they're getting so far.
What's the future to the whole 5G system? You're going to be covering a fair part of North America, but at what point might we see an international move?
Yeah, so we will, at the end of this year, we'll have North America cover, at least the continental United States. We will expand into Canada over time in the coming months after that. But from a global perspective, we made an announcement at eBase in Geneva back at the end of May that we are going to be providing a global broadband service, and that is we've partnered with OneWeb, so our service is going to operate on their low Earth orbit satellite network, and that's a really important distinction from what other satellite providers are providing right now, because the service is the satellites are so close to Earth that you don't have those latency issues that you have with the geostationary satellites. So we think it's going to be an interesting change. We've designed the antenna to be really small, and the antenna that we have will be able to fit on anything from a large turboprop to a superlight jet all the way up to an ultra long range large cabin jet. And so we believe we're going to be able to provide connectivity for anybody that's got any size business aircraft anywhere in the world, and there's nothing else like that in the market today.
Outstanding. It's going to be exciting to watch the genesis of all this. I've been watching you over the last couple of years, but you've been working at a breakneck pace. To quote the old God, what movie was it? The Spaceballs movie, the ludicrous speed, whatever the case may be. But the rate at which you've attacked this has been phenomenal.
Yeah, again, it goes back to our customer demand. I mean, there's an insatiable appetite for data, and we don't think that that's going anywhere. One of the things that came out of the pandemic is exactly that. We just saw there was such an increased desire and a need, frankly, during the pandemic for connectivity on business jets. We heard stories of customers that would fly in for business meetings, and they wouldn't get off the jet to go in and meet with a customer at their office. They would have them come out and they'd meet on the airplane. So we've just seen that kind of demand, and we don't think that that's going to go anywhere anytime soon. We think it's just going to get more and more intense.
Dave, where can people get more information on the product line?
They can go to business.gogoair.com, and there's all the information that they need right there.
And as I understand it, right now the equipment is available fairly quickly, and 5G will be built out by the end of the year.
We're going to have 5G will be available by the end of the year. That's right. And it's like I said, with the announcement of 5G and the global broadband product that we announced in May, it's a really exciting time for us, and the future is very bright.
There you go. I can't thank you enough for spending a little bit of time with us, and we look forward to seeing what's going on down the line. And more important, I'm looking forward to sitting up in a left or right seat somewhere, dialing into 5G and checking out Netflix. It's going to be fun.
It should be great. Yep. Thank you very much.
Dave, thank you so much. All righty, folks, let's talk a little bit about today's air show schedule. We've got a double duty day in that we've got a great air show starting at 2:30, but this evening we have the night air show, one of Oshkosh's many wonders. Today's features are Women Venture, yay, and the Air Combat Command Day, which will start with a national anthem, a demo by the Patriot Parachute Team. Our air show lead off, of course, in light of Women Venture, starts with Patty Wagstaff, Vicki Benzing, Jesse Panzer, and it gets better from there. We've got Warbirds of America, Greg Kuntz, Kevin Coleman. Kyle Franklin's going to be back, and I don't know if he's going to do the Cub routine. If you haven't seen Kyle's Cub routine, you're missing it. It's total insanity, and he does it so well. Makes it real. Jim Pite, we've got Phillips 66, the Seaplane Base Parade, Mike Gullian, Class of 45, which is P-51s and Corsairs, Flight of the Cats, Tiger Cat, Bearcat, oh my. And then, of course, the Navy Legacy Flight. Tonight's night air show features the Aeroshell Aerobatic Team, the United States Air Force Heritage Flight, Randy Ball, Dave Martin, Bob Carlton, that's the little jet. You're going to like that. Matt Youngkin, Total Insanity, Twin Engine Craziness, Redline Air Shows, Kyle Fowler, Nate Hammond, and a finale that you have got to see to believe. It is fireworks, it's craziness, it's pretty amazing. So we're looking forward to seeing tonight's fireworks, air shows, you name it. Overall, we have had a fascinating beginning to Oshkosh 2022. A&N's been enjoying a steady flow of interesting news as we've gone forward. We've watched Hartzell rebrand itself as Hartzell Aviation. We've been dealing with this news about the Russians talking about pulling out of the International Space Station in 2024. To that. And then, of course, the expansion of TL Sport Aircraft and so many other stories that we're keeping our eyes on. If you want to see the latest and greatest in aviation news, check out Airborne Unlimited each afternoon, especially since this afternoon will be interesting. You'll see why. Okay, folks, you've put up with me for the better part of a half hour. We thank you so much for being here with the Morning Brief. We will be back with you tomorrow at 0900 Central Time. This is live from Oshkosh, Whitman Field, EAA, the greatest place in the face of the earth for 1 week out of the year, aviation's version of Woodstock. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.